Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So in the previous video we have discussed about the concept of union. What is union, how this union is different from structure. There are a mainly basic difference in between structure and union is that inside structure for every primitive data type or for every primary variable there separate copy will be created inside our computer memory. But in case of union only one copy will be created, and that copy is like suppose in the previous video I have given you the example, like for our three times eating I can just use only one pot, and that pot will be the maximum size, and inside that pot we can just keep our food of every time. So that is the difference between structure and union. In structure for all the variables separate copy will be created, but in case of union there only one copy will be created, that will be for the maximum byte of memory that is required for the variable. So that's the difference. Today in this video we are just going to discuss about the concept of enum. What is enum, how to use it. So before going to enum I just want to define constant value in our C program. How to define one constant value. So this is the class of enum, so here I will save it as enum.c. So now first include the header file, so has include stdio.h, and then int main. Suppose here before that I just want to write one program. That program will calculate the area of a circle. So how to write that program? So inside int main there will be suppose one radius type of variable. So suppose this will be a float and this will be radius, so I am just writing r. And then what is the formula of calculating the area? So area equals to pi r square. So what is the value of pi? Pi means 3.14, then multiplied by r, then multiplied by r. So here we need to create another variable, that is area. So now area equals to 3.14 into r, and then we need to suppose just print that. So I will write printf, then it is float, so percentile f, and then here we will print the value of area. So that's the program of calculating area. So here suppose here I will write area equals to percentile f. So that's the program. So it is int main, so I will return one value, suppose return 10. So I hope it is clear to you. Now compile the program, no error is there. If we run the program, now you can see that area is printed. So why area is 0.000? Because here I am not assigning any kind of value of r. So here suppose I am assigning r equals to 5, or I will take the input from the user. So here I will just write printf. Here it will be enter the r. Okay, so here inside r I will keep the value. So here I will just scan that value, scan if this is float, so percentile f and ampersand, and it will be stored in r. So here the r value will be stored, and then the area will be calculated. So if we compile this program and run this again, now you can see that enter the radius is 5, so the area is 78.5 is printed. So if we again run this program, here the radius is suppose 56, now area is printed. So that's the program of calculating the area of a circle. But now here if you see that this 3.14, this is a constant value, this is called pi. So instead of writing just 3.14, I can just here just make one another variable, suppose pi, and I can just assign 3.14 over there, and instead of directly writing the value over there, I can just write the name of the variable, so it will be pi. So if we compile this program and run this again, so it will give also the same output. So 578.5, and in when I will give 56, at that time this kind of like area will be printed. So that's the program. But here suppose in the next line, suppose here after scanning the value I am changing the value of pi to 4. So here this pi value I can change. So if we compile and run this program, now it will also give us the output, but that output is not the correct one. Here the area is printed, but this is not correct because I have just changed the value of pi to 4, and the original value of pi is 3.14. So to make this pi as a constant value, what is the work of a constant value? A constant value cannot be changed. So here this pi is a constant value, 3.14, that means 22/7, that is one constant value. So anyhow I will not just change the value of our constant variable. So I will just make this comment, and now I just want to make this pi as constant. So to make this pi constant, here we need to write hash, and then we need to write define, and then the name of the variable and the value that I want to assign. So it will be 3.14. So that is the way by which I can just make one variable constant. Now here has defined, this is a macro, this pi is a variable name, and then space, then the value of that variable. So now this pi becomes one constant. So I will just remove this line, and if we compile this program, now you can see no error is there. Run it again. When r is 5, area is 78.5, because this value of pi is just totally replaced by 3.14, and this is one constant. Suppose how I will be able to understand that this is constant. So I will just remove this line. So like now I just want to change the value of pi to 4. If we compile and run this program, now you can see it is giving us the error. That means this constant value cannot be changed. So here I have just defined this as constant, and I cannot modify our constant value. So in this way I can just make one constant value. So compile this, run this program, give any kind of r value, and the area will be printed. And here this pi is also a variable name, and 3.14 is assigned over there inside this pi variable name, and this is one constant variable name. I just can't change the value of pi over there. So inside our program, if I just want to create one variable and I just want to assign one value permanently inside that variable, like will not be able to change that value at that time, I will use this hash define function. So this is the way by which I can just create one constant value inside our C program. So now try to understand what is enum. So to make one enum type of variable, we have to write the keyword enum, and then we need to give the name. So suppose I am giving the name as name. This is name, and here we need to give this kind of bracket, and inside that bracket we need to give the variable name. Suppose here I will give three variable name A, B and C. And if I just want to print the value of A, B and C, so I will just delete all these lines, and here I will suppose print the value of A, B, C printed, and here I will write A equals to percentile D, B equals to, suppose there is another percentile D, and C equals to, suppose this is percentile D, and here what will be the value A, B and C. So if we compile and run this program, now if we compile, no error is there. If we run this program, now you can see A is 0, B is 1 and the value of C is 2. So if instead of this 3 variable I just make another variable, and here I will print the value of D. Suppose D equals to, sorry, it will be percentile D. So D equals to percentile D, and here we need to give the value of D. So if we compile and run this program, now you can see the value of D is 3. So in this way the value is assigning over there inside this variable. So what is the utility of using this kind of enum? So the main intention of using enum is that I can just modify one value with a proper name. Suppose here I am making one comment, and there is suppose two value, one is true and the another one is false. These are suppose the boolean value. So I just want to define this true and false inside our program. So instead of this true, if I just print the user 1, or if we just write a program with 1, at that time it will be not so clear to us. Or instead of false, so inside our program all the time I am just writing 0, and instead of true I am writing 1. At that time the programmer, that means if after some time you see the code, at that time you will not be able to recognize why 1 is used, why 0 is used. But instead of using this 0 and 1, if I use true and false, at that time it will be like very much clear to you that this is one true statement, this is one false statement. What is happening there, I'm telling you. Suppose here what is happening, A equals to 0, and then B equals to 1, C equals to 2, and D equals to 3. So this is the way, or this is the step. So if we compile and run this program, now you can see from 0 to 3 everything is printed. So here instead of using 0 inside our program, I will use A as like a variable. Instead of using 1 inside our program, I will use B. Instead of using 2, I will use C. Instead of using 3, I will use D. This is the utility of using a enum inside our code. So here I will just not be worried about our digit. We will work with a variable name. Suppose I just want to assign a equals to 5. I am just assigning the value. I am not just leaving this in this way. I am just assigning the value. If we compile and run this program, now you can see the value of A is 5. I have assigned that. Now the value of B is 6, C is 7 and D is 8. What is happening there? All the time a variable try to increment by 1 with its previous value. So here the previous value of A is 5. For that reason the value of B is 5 plus 1, that is 6. The value of C is 6 plus 1, that is 7, and the value of D is 7 plus 1, that is 8. So in this way we are getting 5, 6, 7, 8. So instead of this making this 5, suppose here I am making this 6. So if we compile and run this program, 6, then B will be 6 plus 1, that is 7, 7 plus 1, that is 8, 8 plus 1, that is 9. So in this way it is printed. So suppose here I am not making any kind of value, and here I am making C equals to 5. So if we compile and run this program, now the value of A is 0 because no value is assigned over there. B is 1 because 0 plus 1. Then C will be 1 plus 1, that is 2. But I have just assigned 5 value inside there inside C. So for that reason the value of C is 5 and the value of D is previous value plus 1, that is 6. So in this way the value is assigning over there inside this variable. So suppose here I am making A equals to suppose 2. So now what will happen? The value of A will be 2, B no value is assigning, so 2 plus 1, that is 3, C equals to 5 because 5 is assigning over there directly, and the value of D is 5 plus 1, that is 6. So in this way we can just assign any kind of like constant value inside one variable name, or this 5 value is just changing into one name, that is C. So suppose here I just want to create one boolean enum. So suppose I will give the name boolean, and here inside boolean there the first value will be 0, so I will make false first, so false, and then there will be true. So here I will write true. So here instead of printing this A, B, C and D, here I will write percentile D, and instead of just writing all this I will write false. And then suppose I will also print true, and here suppose the first one is false, so I will write false equals to, and the second one is true, so I will write true equals to percentile D. So if we compile and run this program, now the first value, that is false is assigned to 0, and the second value true is assigned to 1. Suppose I am changing this order, so first I will give true and then I will give false. So if we give false over there, so if we compile and run this program, now you can see true is assigning to 0 and false is assigning to 1, because this true is in the first position, so it is assigned to 0, then false is in the second position, so for that reason this is assigning to 1. So suppose after false, here I am just making another variable name, I am printing the value of this A. So suppose A equals to percentile D, and here also a random variable A. So here 4A was there. Okay. So compile and run this program. Now in the same way, 2 is 0, then the false is assigned to 1, then this A value 1 plus 1, that is 2. So in this way, this enum works in C program. So I will just delete all these lines, and here also I will delete this A. Now how I should use this enum? So here I have just assigning one boolean enum over there. This true will be 0 and this false will be 1. So if I just want to modify this, so I will write true equals to 1 and directly assign the value false equals to 0. At that time it will just not follow any kind of indentation. That means false is before, so false will be 0. That will not be happen. So now false is 0 and true is 1, because I directly assign the value over there. This is also one like structure and union, and this is also one user defined data type. I have just declared over there, and here I just want to suppose create one variable of our enum data type. So here I will just write enum, then bool. So this is the definition, and then we need to give the variable name. Suppose like is pass, one student is pass, and here I am just writing false, the student has not passed. So if we just print this is pass, so here I will write percentile D, and instead of this true and false, here I will write is pass. So this is one variable. So if we compile and run this program, now you can see as this is false, so for that region 0 is printed because the value of false is totally overwritten by this 0. So instead of this false, if we just write true over there, now the value of true is 1. So for that region inside each pass, there one value will be assigned. So if we compile and run this program, now you can see 1 is printed. That means here this true is a name, this false is also a name, this 0 and this 1, these are constant, and instead of assigning directly 0 and 1, I am assigning this true and false to understand the program in a better way. So that's the utility of using enum inside our C program. So that's all for this video. If you understand the concept of enum, then congratulations, and if you don't understand, please comment out your problem. I will be here to help you out. Thank you for watching this video.